So you've saved up some money and you want it to work for you. You've probably heard of this term called investing, and that's the practice of allocating your money in a way so that it returns more to you in the long run. However, if you are a beginner, it can be really overwhelming. There's tons of terms you've probably never even heard of. For example, bear versus bull markets, ETFs, index funds, limit orders, ticker symbols, the S&P 500, the list goes on. So I'm actually of the firm belief that investing doesn't actually have to be overwhelming. So in this video, we're gonna show you why you should be investing, how you're gonna be investing, and what to actually invest in. And these are gonna be in terms that anybody can understand. We'll also go over some basic beginner strategy and also talk through some frequently asked questions, as well as go through a live example of actually how to invest. So if that sounds good to you, stay a while, listen, grab a drink, and let's get into why you should be investing. All right, plain and simple, the reason why we want to invest is that we want our money to work for us. So if you're actually saving your money right now in a savings account, for example, at a big bank like Chase or Wells Fargo or anything like that, the interest rates that they're paying you on your money is not very high. Typically, a bank like that might offer you 0.01% or even 0.15% on your money. So let's pretend for a second that someone hypothetically gives you $1 million and you take that $1 million and you put it in Chase Bank in a savings account that yields you about 0.01%. At the end of the year, that $1 million will have earned you $100. In that case, your $1 million is not working very hard for you. Imagine you were getting 10% on that money per year. That would be $100,000. That's a huge order of magnitude different from your $100, which is the typical savings rate at a big bank. Even 5% on $1 million would be $50,000 a year, and I think that many people could live comfortably in retirement off of that money. So investing can get our money to compound over time, and the term compound interest refers to the interest that you earn on your own interest. So this is kind of a confusing concept if you're new, but it can be illustrated by this example here. Say you invest $1,000 and you get a 10% return. At the end of year one, you're gonna have $1,100. Now, when you start that next year, if you get 10% on $1,100, you'll end up with year two, at the end of year two, $1,210. Now, pretend that this pattern continues for another 20 years. Your money starts to earn money on the previous balance every single year. So at the end of year 20, you're gonna have $6,727. So just by putting $1,000 in and getting a return every single year, your money starts to grow and grow and grow, and that's called compounding. Another reason we want to invest some of our excess cash instead of having it sit in a savings account is the concept of inflation. The US has a central bank, and that's called the Federal Reserve, and that actually dictates the monetary policy for the United States, but you just need to know that they are targeting a 2% inflation rate every single year for a healthy economy. But I'm sure you've seen the news recently. Recently, the inflation reports are saying it's between 6 to 8% a year. That means if our money isn't earning 6 to 8% a year, that money is losing value just by sitting in the account. It's losing purchasing power. All right, if you really want to see inflation in action, all you have to do is look at the stamps that you buy for your letters. In 1971, the stamp cost 8 cents to mail a letter. As of this year, it's 63 cents to mail that same letter. The mechanics are exactly the same. The stamp allows your letter to be delivered anywhere in the United States. But as time has passed, the stamp has just gotten more expensive due to inflation. So that's also why we want to invest. So